Hi, and welcome back to Guide to SolidWorks. So today I decided I'm going to have a go at doing something a little bit fun, and something that I've been wanting to do for a while. I'm going to have a go at modeling one of Luke Skywalker's lightsaber hilts, or hilts, should I say. So this should be just a little bit of a fun exercise. If you want to follow along, it'll teach you how to have a go at doing it yourself. We'll see how we get on. This might end up being 2 videos, but we'll plow into it and have a bit of fun. So let's start off. Now I'm going to try and make this as simple as I can for myself. So I've already got some sizes. I've managed to go onto the internet and pinch a few sizes off the internet. And we should be able to create something that looks pretty good. So first of all, I'm going to come onto the front plane. I'm going to sketch on the front plane. And I'm going to do this through a revolve. It should make it a little bit easier for us. So I'm going to get some sizes. So I'm just going to start off creating the rough shape. Now I'm not going to go all the way along. I'm just going to go a long bit at a time. So that'll get me far enough. So I'm going to create a rough outline for how I want this to look. So let's get some sizes. Now, dimensions. I've got all these in full diameter, so I'm going to have to break them down into radius. So 33 divided by 2 gives me the half radius for the height. And that is going to go along 35. And then the second radius here is going to be 36. Divided by 2. And that'll give me the height for the next section. And I'm going to make this a little bit easier for myself, and I'm going to put a center line in. So when I do finish it, I will have something to revolve it around. And this lightsaber in full length is going to be 278 millimeters long. It's going to be quite long. Okay, so keep going along. I'm just going to set some dimensions in here and keep moving along so we've got the sizes. So we've got 31 there. We've got a diameter of 35 here. And a distance of 3. My diameter for this one and the last one are the same size, so I'll just make them horizontal. With this, then the lines are coming vertical, so let's turn them to vertical lines. Now I'm going to try and draw this fully defined, still following the same principles of what I would do if I was modeling anything else. So this section's 51 long. And then I drop down to a diameter of 34. Okay. And that bit just sticks out by 6.5. Like so. Okay. Now, as you'll have seen at the beginning of the video, in the thumbnail to start off with, there is a picture of what this is going to look like, and I'll add in a video, so you'll have an image of what the final product's going to be like at the beginning. So you'll have an understanding of the shape. Now, in this middle section here, we've got a sort of a stepped section where we're going to create what effectively is part of the grip. So let's have a look at how we're going to do that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a center line to get the bottom edge. Now, I know this whole section is going to be from there 70.5. Okay, and the distance down from the top is a diameter of 27. Okay, just keep that lined up with that, like so. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm going to pick the high spots and the low spots as we go along. So from the top here, I'm going to go down and up, across, down and up, across, down and up. And this continues all the way along, but I'm going to start getting some sizes just to make sure we are keeping to the right scale. So my gap between there is 5. Let's try that again. 5. Okay, and I want to keep them two lines equal. Then my next gap across the top there is 2. And then 5 again. And we can repeat that process all the way across. Now what I want to also make sure is that this top section stays on line with this diameter at the top here. So I know that I want that to join to there all the way along. Like so. And rather than me keep writing 5 in every time, I am just going to click these and make them equal. Oh, too many. Okay, so by doing that, it's setting that it's overdefined. So we'll just undo that. It's okay, that's not a problem. We'll just keep using the dimension tool to define that. Okay, so it's automatically picking up because of the distance that's set between the two construction lines, that is the right size. So them lines should be equal, but it's still picking up that it is overdefined. Not an issue. As I'm working along, we'll just check that as we go. Now, the reason at the moment it's not fully defined is because there's no distance set up either side. So that distance across there should be 2 again. And then we can come across and down and up and across. So we are going to be setting this distance now as a 3. And again, continuing our gap between the two. And I want that 5 mil. Okay. So we've done 2, 2, 3, and now we're on to another 2 milli gap in the middle here. And continue to follow this process along. Okay, so again, continuing along, putting in sizes. So 5 milli. 3 milli, 3 milli, and again 3 milli. Okay, so we should be left now with 2 and a 3. With a 5 milli gap in there, and a 5 milli gap in there, like so. So that is our grip along the outside of the shaft. Now from that point, we're going to come down and across, and we're going to start creating the top shape for this lightsaber hilt. Okay, so let's get some sizes to this bit now. I like to do it section this a bit rather than drawing all the lines out, because it'll just get a bit too complicated if we try to draw everything out in one go and not. And then when we try to dimension it up, it comes to a point where it just gets really, really messy, and trying to figure out what's what just gets a bit too complicated. So this bit is 9, and then we go up to 22 diameter, so 11, and goes across 3 mil. And again, like I say, we're just moving along, keep building up with our dimensions, making sure everything's to the correct size. And we will get to a point where we get to the end and everything should be perfect to scale. Now, this lightsaber that we're looking at modeling here is the one from the Return of the Jedi. So for those of you who are big Star Wars fans, then you will know exactly what this looks like, and you will be really interested in having a go at modeling this. For those of you who necessarily aren't as big Star Wars fans, it's still going to be a good bit of good fun to have a go at modeling this. Something that is out of a movie is always good to have a go at. You can see actually how they've gone around designing it in the first place for the movie. Okay, so we're nearly down to that final bit now. So we're just finishing off with these final sizes. So we've got a diameter on the end there of 19 divided by 2, and we've got a distance coming down of 10. We have a diameter out to the outer edge of 47, and a distance going along there of 3. So this isn't an over-complex design. Now, those of varying levels of ability on SolidWorks shouldn't have much of a problem with this, because it is a simple revolve. The most complex part really is just going through the whole process of dimensioning it up. And again, it's quite easy to make a mistake while you're doing that, because there are lots and lots of dimensions. I'm trying my best here to keep this as neat as possible. Doesn't always work out, but we'll hopefully make a good job of it by the end. Sorry, wrong size on that. That should have been 40 to divide by 2 is 20. And then this section is 33 divided by 2. And we're going to get the distance across there of 13. Nearly there now. So this last section is 5 across. And we are 23 diameter. And 18 here. Okay, so we've now got the outer shape of that lightsaber. So that's the full shape all the way along. Now that looks really messy and complicated, but it's not that bad. As long as we can go through it step by step with our dimensions and adding our relationships in, it's pretty straightforward. From there then, just to turn that into a model, we're going to go up to features, and we're going to revolve that around this center line here. So just click in there, and we will get that lovely lightsaber shape, like so. Okay, now there is a bit missing off the bottom. We've got a bit of a hilt missing here, so we're going to add that in. Right, so if you want to add that in, the easiest way of doing that is to create the shape itself onto here and then revolve the pattern round. So what I want to know is how far along that shape is going to be. Now I need to set a plane from this outside edge and I am going to set it 25 mil in. Okay, and flip the direction and put that there. Okay, so on that plane, if I go normal to that plane, I'm going to sketch one of the bits on the end of the hilt. They sort of stick up a little bit. Now, the way to do that is I am going to put on here the circle diameters so that we go from our back circle here and convert the entity onto a sketch on there. So if I click my plane, sketch on that, click the circle on the end, and I'm going to create, I'll convert entities to create a circle there. Okay. Now, from that circle, I'm going to create, let's flip normal to first. So I'm just going to go normal to this, so it gives me a better view of what I am doing. So normal to that plane. So now I've got this circle, what I want to do is to create a circle above that 6 milli higher. So get the circle tool, come out, and I'm going to create a 6 milli difference between the two circles. Like so. Once I've got that difference between the two there, I can start to sketch the shaping. So I'm going to draw a center line between the two circles, and I'm going to sketch a line diagonally there and a line diagonally here. Now I know that I want a 10 milli gap at the bottom, so that's going to come 5 out, and that's going to come 5 out. The same at the top, it's not going to be 10 this one, this is going to be 8, so this one's going to come 4 out. And this one is going to come 4 out. Let's get that there. Okay, so we've created that shape. I'm going to get rid of the bits I don't need. So I'm going to trim off the excess. So these circles are around the outside. Then from there, I've got my shape. I'm going to extrude that. So features, extrude. And extrude that shape. And I want to go 19 milli. To there. Okay. Now, I've got that shape, but it does angle in. So I am also going to create the angle in for that as well. So if I come to my front plane, I'm going to go normal to that plane, and I'm going to sketch on that plane. Move right in, and I'm going to draw a line from this center point here, up to the top, out to the edge, and down to the bottom again. Now this triangle is going to come 4 in from that end. Okay, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. So rather than drawing that again, I'll find a center pointer there, like so, and I'm going to mirror that across. Like so. Okay, so I need that to sweep around that shape just to get rid of it in a circular motion. So I'm going to draw, and again, another center line from the origin along there. Okay, so click that center line. I'm now going to features and revolve cut, and revolve cut that around the outside, like so, giving me the shape of that end piece. Now once I've got that, I can pattern that shape. So I go to pattern. I don't want linear, I want circular pattern. I'm going to pattern that around that circle there. Now I want 6 of them, 6 all the way around, 360 degrees, and I want it equally spaced. So that's perfect. And tick there. Okay, so that's that end. The next bit we're going to do is we are going to put a hole through one of the end pieces on here. So I'm going to use this top one. So if I go to my front plane, I'm going to sketch on that front plane, and I'm going to go normal to that front plane. Zoom straight in. I want a hole to go through there halfway. So I'm going to draw a center line from the top down to the bottom. I'm going to circle and put a circle in there. Now this hole is going to be 3.1 mil. 3.1 mil. And I am going to cut that through the center of there. So I'm going to go mid-plane, and I'm going to go both ways through. You should see it stick out of either side, like so. Okay, I could have selected up to surface, but I've only done it one way, so mid-plane allows me to go cut both ways at once. Tick there, and we've got the hole through the end of that. Now, the next piece we need to complete is the battery pack area and the buttons on the section above here. So what I'm going to do is from the top plane, I'm going to offset a plane. I'm going to set that to 30 high, like so. Now it's 30 high. From there, I am going to make this into, so I'm going to go normal to that, look straight down on top, and I'm going to make a box here. So that box, I'm going to use a rectangle, and I'm going to use a corner rectangle, and the box is going to sit right there. Now I've not set any sizes to this, I've not even set the center, so let's set the center first. Okay, now pick up the center there, straight across, zoom right in, make sure it's picking up the same center, like so. Now I want to connect that point to the center of there, make the coincidence. What that means now is if I extend it out one way to one side, both sides will extend out the same from the midpoint. So I want that box to be 19 millimeters wide. Okay, and 49 long. No, sorry, not 49 long. 46 long. Like so. Okay, and I'm going to offset another box from that one, and I'm going to set it to 5 mil. Okay, and I'm going to go inside. Sorry, not 5 mil, 2.5 mil. I want it to be 2.5 in from each end. So I'm going to offset that 2.5, and I'm going to come in. That's better. That's what I want. Okay, so 2.5 mil in either end, and I'm going to extrude that down to the bottom. So I'm going to go up to surface, and I'm going to click this surface here. It'll extrude down to the surface of that and tick there. Okay. Okay, so now I've got that. What I would like to do next is create a rim on the outside on each edge. So I'm going to sketch on top of that profile. And I'm going to put a center line in. There to there. And I'm going to draw a corner rectangle. And I go from there right down here. Okay, so that is going to stick out from the center to the edge by 11 and go the full length. That point and that are going to be coincidence, and that should set up that shape. We just need to make sure we're getting the same on the edge. Now the distance across, so I want that point and that point to be coincidence. So it's just going to line up the outside. I'm then going to mirror that across. So I'm going to mirror that sketch. Let's go normal to that face. So I'm going to mirror this sketch across that center line. So we've got it on the top as well. Okay. And then from there, I'm going to extrude that up. And I'm going to extrude that up by 5. Just 5 in there. Like so. Giving me an outer edge. Now, what I want to do is create a sort of stepped section that fits in this gap here. So the way I can do that, I'm going to sketch on one profile edge there. And so that I can see it nicely, I'm going to split this right down the center. Where are we? That one there. Okay, so split this right down the center, and I'm going to sketch on this profile here. So if I click on that face, go normal 2, zoom in, and I'm going to sketch on there. And starting from this bottom corner here, like so. Now what I'm after is creating a step that is going to be 2.5 each time. So we're effectively clicking like a zigzag each way, all the way along. All the way along there. Now this is going to be 2.5 across. And what I also want to make sure is that we are working from 2.5 milli, which is halfway down. So I'm going to make all of these coincident with this. So incident. And the last one. Okay, so just pull that back into shape, and then we're just going to get the distances across here. 2.5. That's fine. And the last one there should come up at 2.5. So we've got them distances in. Just going to make sure that lines up with that bottom corner. Pull that back into place. Okay, so continues to sketch this. And we're coming along all the way using that same distance. Check the distances, so that's 2.5. 2.5. And 2.5. Keep coming across. So we're taking this profile all the way up to the edge. And we should now be able to dimension that up. .5 all the way along. Now what we've ended up here is one slightly shorter than the rest. So I'm just going to flatten that end bit off. To finish that profile. Now all I'm doing here is working from the sizes that have been given from the pictures that I've got off the internet. So we're just going to make, if there's any tiny little alterations that need to be made, we'll make them as we go. So I'll just flatten that end off rather than having a little spiky extra bit on the end. Now, excuse me. Now I've got that feature, I'm going to come out of my section view and I'm going to extrude that across. So features, extrude. And I'm going to make that go up to surface. And I'm going to select this surface here and tick there. And then we've got that all the way across. Okay. Last part then for this section of the model is to put our buttons on. So from down to here, I'm going to sketch on that side plate, and I am going to create some buttons. All right, I think I've edited the sketch there, so let's sketch on that side. And I'm going to turn normal to that face. Okay, and I'm going to put in my buttons. There. Okay, so I've got two buttons here. I'm just going to offset them slightly from the face above. So I'm going to go 0.1. And I'm going to take a 0.1 gap between them as well. Okay. Now with that as well, I'm just going to move that edge in. So I'm just going to move that edge into 0.1 as well. Like so. If I line them 2 points up horizontal, like so, and distances that I'm after is 5 down the side and 12 across. I'm repeating that for both. Like so. And once I've got that, what I can do is I can extrude them out. Make sure the bottom there is level. So features extrude, and I'm coming out 6 mil. Like so. So we've got the buttons on the side. Then my last little bit is to put on my 2 lights at the side here as well. So I'm zooming again. I'm going to sketch on that face again. So I'm sketching, and I'm going to put 2 triangles in. Like so. So one there. I'm going to draw a center line in there, and put the other one. Put the sizes on this, and I'll mirror it across. So 4 and 4. I want that to go down there. I want that to be in line with the center of there. So I'm just going to make that coincide to the midpoint. I'm going to set a distance between the two of 1 mil. And I'm going to mirror that across. I'm going to mirror that sketch across that line there. Across that line there. And we'll get the second triangle in there. Okay, then what I want to do is set up some distances so that that to there is going to be 5 mil, and from that to there, from that corner to there is also going to be 5 mil. So we define the position of the 2 lights. Features, extrude that, and I'm going to come out 1 mil, just so it just sticks out a little bit. And we've got the position of our 2 lights on there. Okay. So the last part to doing the lightsaber then is to put effectively a hook through the hole at the end here. So we've done that main section with the buttons and the lights and the battery pack on top there. So we've pretty much got the full shape now of our lightsaber. We've just got to do this last little bit. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a plane on here, which I'm going to connect the hook to. So I'm going to draw a center line, sketch on there, a center line on that front plane. So front plane, and from there, I'm going to sketch a center line from that center part of that circle. like so. Just doing it roughly, it doesn't matter what angle it's at, it's just so I can set a plane that looks, makes the hook look like it's in the right place. There is no specific point where this can be, in fact it should have a free range of motion. So I'm just going to put it into there. Now, to create a plane on the end of here, I'm going to put my plane coming horizontal across here. So I'm going to go to, close that, go to Features, to Reference Geometry, and grab the plane. Now I'm going to use this line, and I'm going to use the end point so that it's perpendicular to that line. And just tick there, and it should let me put the plane in, like so. Okay, so on that plane then, I am going to sketch the triangle-shaped hook on here. So, using plane 6, I'm going to sketch, and I am going to go to normal 2, and I am going to create a triangle. And that triangle is going to come out, come up here, down here, and connect back together, like so. So that should be going through the center of that circle. So just let's make sure we've got that all connected up, like so. Now we just need to add some sizes to this. So the triangle across the bottom is going to be 31. So 16.5 out that way. So 15.5 out that way. And I'm going to go 15.5 out the other way as well. I want that point and that point to be horizontal, like so. And then what I want to do is get the distance from the top down to the bottom of here, out to the side, and that should be 19. Up the side there. So we've got that triangle shape. Now what I'm going to do is I am just going to round off these corners. So I'm going to put a fillet on the end of these corners here. It's not going to be 10. Let's go say 2 on each corner, like so. Okay. Now I've got that shape. That is going to be my guide to sweep a circle around. So if I come into here and draw on that front plane, and I'm going to sketch on there a circle that is going to be a diameter of 3 mil. Now, that should just give it a little bit of freedom of movement in there. So if I was to 3D print this, there would be a gap, so that would move. Now I'm going to sweep that around, features, sweep that, and I'm going to sweep it around. So that sketch around that profile. And I'm going to tick there, like so, just to give us that profile on the end. Now, just so it's easy to see what's happened, I'm just going to hide these extra planes, and you can see, I'm just going to hide that too, so you can see the model a bit better. So that's our lightsaber modeled up, all in one model. Now, from there, if we wanted to, we could render it and give it a really nice finish so it looks realistic. So what I'm going to do in the next video is go through the process of rendering this lightsaber. Excuse me. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully that's taught you a few new little tricks. And just something fun really to have a go at. Like you say, SolidWorks doesn't always have to be used for modeling proper engineering components all the time. It can be used just for creating some nice models, something a bit more fun, something a bit more friendly, just having a go at and learning a few new techniques. So, I hope you enjoyed the video, and give it a big thumbs up, give it some likes. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And I will continue to issue more content. Your subscriptions and your likes help me to continue to create more and more content. So show me that you like what I'm doing, and I'll continue doing it. Any comments for any future videos you'd like to see, maybe let us know, and I'll get as much on the channel as I can. Thank you very much, and we will see you again shortly.